Mr. Kello, I am under duty to explain to you what was happening. It is called a preliminary hearing, and it is intended to expedite the trial without having to call the witnesses. So in this case, you, your lawyers, and the prosecution agreed to the evidence of the post-mortem reports. So I am supposed to explain to you as court what those reports reveal, but I also have to tell you that these reports do not implicate you as the one who committed the offense. The reports only reveal the nature of injuries on the deceased persons and also the cause of death. They do not implicate you. So I want you to listen carefully, because after this process, I'm supposed to come up with a memorandum of agreed facts, which all of us are supposed to sign. So I want you to listen carefully. You sign, your lawyers will sign, the prosecutors will sign, and I will also sign. And then they will form part of the record of proceedings. Okay? Yes. So we have 4 children who are said to have been killed, and there is a doctor who performed a post-mortem examination on each one of them, or on all of them. And that doctor is called Dr. Katongole Abdul. Okay? So he examined all the 4 children and came up with the reports. So those reports, I have admitted them as prosecution exhibits. Okay? The first report is in respect of a child called Eteku Gideon, and it was done by, the examination was done by Dr. Katongole Abdul on the 2nd of April, 2026. Okay? I want you to listen carefully. And he said when he received this body, it was of a male preschool child of a black race. On evidence of trauma, there was a 14-centimeter long open wound on the right side of the neck, which was located at 66 centimeters from the right heel and the nape of the neck. It was long than it was deep. It was also characterized by smooth edge, regular margins, no bridging fibers, marginal contusion, no contusion of the underlying soft tissues. That the wound was deep, it was transecting through the esophagus, the trachea, the internal jugular vein, the vagus nerve, cut fractures of C6 vertebrae. However, the spinal cord of this body, it was intact. Then he said that the cause of death for this child was hypovolemic shock due to deep cut wounds. And in simple terms, that this child was cut, and he was cut deeply, and as a result, he died. So that is the first report, and I have admitted it, and I have marked it Exhibit 1 for the prosecution. Have you understood that?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. So the second one that you have agreed upon, your lawyers and the prosecution, is another post-mortem report. It is for a girl child. She's called again Roth Keisha Utim. Her body was also examined by the same doctor. The same doctor is called Dr. Katongole Abdul. And she was found to be a female preschool child, and she was of black race. The evidence of trauma, this child that she had, the body of this child had a 9-centimeter long open wound, and it was on the right side of the neck at 65 centimeters from the right heel and 1 centimeter from the anterior midline. And it was longer than it was deep. The wound was longer, the length was bigger or more than the depth of the wound. That this wound was also characterized by smooth edges, regular margins, and no marginal contusion, no bridging fibers. The cause of death for this child was also the same, hypovolemic shock following deep cut wound to the neck. So the doctor is saying that this child was cut deeply in the neck, and as a result, she died. Have you understood that?
Yes, yes, my lord.
Okay. So I have also admitted this postmortem report, and I have marked it PEX2. That means prosecution exhibit number 2. And the other report is in respect of another child. He's called Seriange Ignatius, and he's also a male child. He's a male preschool child. He is of black race, and it was the same doctor who examined his body as well, and that is Dr. Katongole Abdul. He found that this child had evidence of trauma or injuries, that there was a 14-centimeter long open wound on the right side of the neck, which was longer than it was deep. This wound was also longer. The length was bigger than the depth. And the wound was characterized by smooth edges and regular margins. There were no marginal contusions, bridging fibers, no contusions of the underlying tissues. The wound was also deep, and it was transecting through the skin and the underlying neck muscles. And he said also the cause of death for this child was also hypovolemic shock following deep cut injuries to the neck. So that this child also had been cut on the neck, and the cuts were deep, and that's why he died. That is, I have also admitted this report, and I have marked it prosecution exhibit number 3. Mr. Okello, have you understood this?
Yes, yes, my lord.
You've understood?
I have understood, yes, my lord.
Okay. The last one is also a postmortem report, and this one was, the examination was done on a child called Odeke Ryan. He was found to be a male preschool child. He's of black race. The wounds on him, or the injuries on him, were 9-centimeter deep cut wound located on the right side of the neck in the oblique fashion at 60 centimeter from the right heel, stretching from the anterior midline. It was also longer than it was deep, and the wound was characterized by smooth edges, regular margins, no marginal contusions, no branching or bridging of fibers. It was deep, dissecting through the underlying neck muscles, neck vessels, and the cause of death for this child, Ryan Odeke, was also found to be hypovolemic shock following deep cut injuries to the right side of the neck. So the long and short of this is that this child was cut in the neck, and the cut was deep, and as a result of that, he died. Mr. Okello, have you understood this?
Yes, yes, my lord, I've understood it.
Okay. And I have also admitted this one as a prosecution exhibit, and I have marked it PEX 4, prosecution exhibit number 4. So Dr. Katongole Abdul is not going to come to court, but his evidence has been admitted, and so we shall call him prosecution witness number 1. And now I'm going to expect all of you to sign on my memorandum of agreed facts, and I will begin with you, Mr. Okello.
Therefore, Mr. Komakech, would I be right to say today is your first time to see the accused person?
Ekitegeeza olwaleero gwe mulundu gwo ogusookera ddala okulaba ogwe bavunaana.
Nedda.
No.
So when did you first see him?
Wasooka ddi kumulaba?
Nasooka kumulaba we nali nva ku mulimu we nali nya boda nga ngenda waka.
I first saw him when I boarded the border from work as I was going home.
Which date is that?
Bwali ddi? Ennaku z'omwezi.
Ennaku z'omwezi lwe batta abaana lwennyini.
The day when the children were killed.
Mr. Komakech, will I be right to say that whenever you drop your child at school, in case you do so, you would not be checked?
Nti bwe waleetanga omwana kumutwala mu ssomero bali tebabakebera?
Tetuyingira just omwana omuyingiza mu gate ne baggalawo waliwo receiving abaana.
We don't enter the gate. When you bring the child, you just...
And those are the teachers who will receive the child.
And they receive the child.
Yes.
Abo basomesa ababa receiving.
Yeah, basomesa baba receiving abaana.
The teachers are the ones who receive the children.
So it is correct that at the gate there was no security officer?
Ekitegeeza ku gate wali tewali mukuumi oba wa security.
Olwo olunaku sinze yaleeta omwana.
On that day, I'm not the one who brought the child.
I'm asking whenever you would bring the child at school.
Abuuza buli bwe waleetanga omwana wabeerangawo omukuumi oba asikari?
Nedda tewaliwo.
There was no security.
Okay. The time you said that you first saw the suspect while you were on the border, what was that time?
Essaawa z'ogambye nti wasooka kulaba omuwaabirwa ng'oli ku booda zaali ssaawa mmeka?
obudde sibujjukira naye ndowooza zaalinga ssaawa ndowooza wanga mukaaga kuba nali mpitawo nga waliwo abapoliisi bangi nga
I don't remember time, but it was around midday.
So, since there were many people, would I be right to say you didn't see the suspect that day?
Nti olw'ensonga nti waaliwo abantu bangi nti wandiba nga ono gwe bavunaana tewamulaba.
namulaba naye nze naye simanyi nti oba omwana afiiridde awo nti oba bamusidde awo kuba nali ngenda waka kulaba kigenda
I saw him, but I had not known that the child was killed from there.
So, who introduced you to that person that is the one?
Ani yakulaga nti omuntu oyo ye yatta?
nayitawo nga waliwo abeekalakaasa
I passed when there are some people who were demonstrating.
So, you can't tell the name?
So tomanyi linnya.
we nali ndi ku ddwaliro abantu nga bagamba omusajja asebubye abaana.
When I was at the hospital, people were saying that the man had killed the children so
Was
badly.
he also at the hospital?
Era
No.
naye yagenda ku ddwaliro.
teyaliiyo we nali mpitawo ewati nga ngenda waka namulaba nga ndowooza oba bali mu byakulwana.
He didn't go to the hospital, but when I was passing, I saw him when other people were demonstrating.
So, you confirm at the hospital the suspect was not there when they were telling you that?
Okakasa nti ono gwe bawaabira teyali ku ddwaliro nga bakugamba ebyo byonna.
asamulabayo ku ddwaliro.
I didn't see him at the hospital.
So, I will be correct to say you do not remember the time you might have seen the suspect?
Tojjukira ssaawa ze walabiramu gwe bawaabira.
Actually said that he cannot remember, but it was around midday.
Much obliged, my lord.
Yagambye nti tajjukira ssaawa ze yamulabiramu.
Okay. At the time you saw that person, was he already arrested or he was not yet?
We wamulabira baali bamaze okumukwata oba baali tebannaba mukwata?
baali bamukutte nga ndowooza bamuteeka ku kabanga lye.
They had arrested him and they were putting him on the police vehicle.
Now, at that time, you listen to this question is a bit long. At that time, you had already seen your child.
Mu kaseera ako wali omaze okulaba omwana wo.
nedda nali mpitawo nga ndi ku booda nga ngenda waka.
I was passing on a border when I was going home.
You were on border, that's when you saw the person being felled on the car.
Wali ku border n'olaba gwe baali bateeka ku motoka. Yes.
I would be right to say that that was not sufficient time for you to recognize the person you are talking about while you're on border.
Agamba nti akaseera ke wali olina nga oli ku boda wali tosobola kulaba omuntu gwe baali bateeka ku motoka.
Kumwekanya
Wali tosobola kumwetegereza n'omwekanya n'ogamba nti yono.
nga we nkugambye nze nali mpitawo nennengera nga bamuteeka ku kabangali nga nze ndowooza bya abantu bali kwekalakasa byabwe kati. then we natuuka ku ddwaliro nentegeera kubanga I was scrolling ku social media nendaba face ye again.
So you are
As
confirming?
I've told you, I was going home on a border. Then I saw the police officers putting someone on police patrol car. I thought there were some people who were demonstrating until I reached the hospital and they told me that there is a man who had killed the children.
Okay.
And I also saw on social media.
Would you be able to identify how he had dressed?
Osobola kujjukira bwe yali ayambadde bw'oba nga wamulaba?
Sijjukira.
I don't remember.
Could we please have some peace and calm?
tukakane tuli mu kooti.
My Lord, I'm through with the cross-examination.
My Lord, just 1, 2. Mr. Komakechi, you say on that day, I'm asking you these questions to clarify a few things which the lawyer asked you.
Bagenda kubuuza ekibuuzo oteleeze ku nsonga ze batategedde bulungi.
So on that day you say it is not you that brought your child to school. Who brought?
Ogambye Koro si ye gwe yaleeta omwana ku ssomero. Ani yamuleeta?
Oyo neighbor affe yamuleeta amita Mr. Derrick.
My neighbor called Mr. Derrick is the one who brought the child to school.
And then the lawyer has asked you the times, events when your child would be taken to school. Was it you who was always taking your child to school?
Balooya bakubuuziza obudde ne byabeerangawo ng'otutte omwana ku ssomero. Bulijjo gwe yali atwala mwana ono ku ssomero.
Ennaku ezimu nze yali amutwala, ennaku endala maama we.
Sometimes I would take the child to school and sometimes the mother would take the child.
Okay. My Lord, that's all.
You said that you know the accused person. For how long have you known him?
Ogambye nti omanyi gwe bavunaana. Omaze bbanga ki ng'omumanyi?
Olwo olunaku lwennyini lwe namulaba lwe namumanya.
On that very day when I saw him, that's when I got to know him.
For how long did you see him?
Wamulaba kumala bbanga ki?
Kuva ku olwo olunaku lwennyini.
For how long?
Kwolwo lwe wamulaba,
Like a minute,
wamulabiranga
seconds,
eddakiika
or
nga
hours?
meka ng'omulaba?
Namulaba just eddakiika azaalinga 5.
About 5 minutes.
In those 5 minutes, are you able to describe how he was dressed?
Mu ddakiika ezo 5 osobola tunnyonnyola bwe yali ayambadde?
Nyinza obutabanyonnyola bulungi naye nzijukira yali ayambadde oba kasaati kali ka square bwe kati nga kabulaaka.
I might not explain very well, but he was wearing a checked shirt.
My Lord, I'm through with this witness.